It's an honor to be here. This one goes out to anyone in the wrong job. I'm in the business of lies. Analyze them, study them, detect them. About 2 months ago, I was given a talk at a security conference in the Tower of London, a citadel, a fortress. And I'm going in to talk about something called social engineering, people hacking, in fact. It's about testing a company's security through the human element. So can I talk my way in? Can I use psychology? Okay, can I lie to get people to disclose information or access or data? And to do this, I have a kit with me. It's one of the favorite parts of my job because I'm paid to be naughty. And they see me, I'm a speaker, and in I go. And I get fast-tracked through all the tourists. And they say, Miss Radcliffe, you're a speaker, that's fantastic. We just need to check your bag. You see, because my bag has got lockpicks in it. It's got 6 different identities in it. It's got smoke pellets in it. It's got security vests in it that are not mine. And it's got all these different identities, all these business cards, which are the tools of the trade, right? But the security people don't know it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if they look in this bag, they're going to stop me. So I have to pull a con. Now it's okay, I've been studying cons and swindles and hustles since I was a little kid. This one's going to have to be sophisticated, okay? So I dropped a bottle of water and flapped and they let me through. Favorite part of the job. Frequently asked question, how does a nice girl like you get into the business of lies? Well, I wasn't always in the business of lies. You see, I started off in a conventional, classic career path. I was a procurement manager, actually. Yeah, and I enjoyed it, but it didn't really serve me, okay? And I remember the day when I really started to think about deception and really wonder what people were thinking and if there was a way I could tell. I'd been sent to Asia to conduct a big negotiation, which is another string on the bow, a big negotiation. And I'm in this room, and I kind of drifted off a little bit. And I look up and I think, everyone in this room's lying. Now, negotiation's a situation that's kind of like an acceptable lie, okay? It's kind of like poker. Don't talk to me about poker, but it's kind of like poker. And everyone sort of lies a little bit and embellishes. But I thought, everyone is lying, and how do I know that? Because I couldn't speak the language. How do I know that? And it sparked this interest in the business of lies. So I started to study it. And I study things like non-verbal communication. Because you see, when you study lies, it's linked to things like emotion and to facial expressions and your non-verbals. And I'm studying that. And meanwhile, the procurement career, the supply chain career is moving along nicely, and I'm traveling around the world and I'm negotiating, I'm doing things, but I don't know, it didn't serve me. Not really. It wasn't really what I was about. But I did enjoy it, and I still do some work in it, but it wasn't quite me. And then I'm going to a meeting, and me and a colleague witness an accident. Quite a serious one. In the end, people were okay, but only just. And the company I worked for at the time, their policy was, if you see something like that, you get a month stress leave. Which for the first time in a long time meant I had nothing to do for a month, except ponder. Ponder whether or not I was really doing what I should be doing with my life and with my career. Was this really what I needed? Or was it time, perhaps, to reinvent myself? And what did I have? How can I reinvent myself? What have I actually got? What skills do I have that anyone's even remotely interested in? Or is it just me? Am I the only geek in the world that's interested in this stuff? So I packaged things together, and in that moment I left, and I became someone who taught people how to negotiate and how to look at body language and how to detect lies. Frequently asked question number 2. People say, Jenny, is there any one thing that you can teach us that we can look out for to show that someone is lying? Is there a red flag? Is there something, if you scratch their nose, are they a serial killer? Tell me if there's any one way that we can tell if there's a lie. And the answer is no. There are hundreds of ways that we can tell if someone is lying. Sometimes it shows up in your face, in microfacial expressions linked to the emotions that you feel that are incongruent with the words that you say. Sometimes it's in the way you move or your gestures or the proxemics, so the space that you leave between you and other people. Maybe there's more distance. It often comes up in the words that we say and the words that we write down and the way that we say them and in the way your voice behaves. There are hundreds of ways we can potentially detect a lie, and it's different for every individual and it's different for all those different contexts, but there are hundreds of ways that we can detect a lie. However, there's one thing that I will say. Lies, like the light, they weigh heavily on your brain. It takes a lot of effort for you to maintain a lie. So it tends to leak through those channels that I've spoke about. It comes out. The truth, on the other hand, is more simple, because the truth lives in the light. And when we tell the truth, we only really have to remember the facts. So the truth lives in the light. And the truth for me was, I think I was destined to do the job that I do now. All of the job I do now. I think the child in me wanted to be a superhero. Not physically, that ship has sailed. But I think mentally I thought, I need to be a superhero. I don't want to be helpless. And I think that's because there was at one point in my childhood when I was helpless. And I actually articulated in my mind, I wish I was a superhero. Because when I was about 7, I was taken by a neighbour and held, against my will, for a full day. Kidnapped is what we call it now. I wasn't physically hurt. It was nothing like as serious as some of these awful cases that we hear about. But I do remember a strong hand over my mouth and a door open about 6 inches, and hearing my mother's voice, frantic, on the other side of that door, asking if you've seen Jenny, because she's been gone all day. And I heard the voice that was behind the hand lying and saying, I saw her this morning. Not since. And that little child thinking, if I was a superhero, no prison could hold me. I'd escape this. And that little superhero peeled back the fingers and said one word, Mum! And Mum dealt with it from there on in. Now, I've never talked about that before. Certainly not like this. Because, after all, I wasn't physically hurt. And I moved on. But I think I was always destined to become that superhero. And in adult terms, I just make very serious. I'm a consultant. I do all these things. What I'd urge you, I think my advice is that sometimes that inner superhero calls us all. And when it does, you should listen. Sometimes you have to give yourself permission to change your mind. And we don't know what's going to trigger it. But it's okay to change your mind. And it's okay to pursue whatever that little fries on the side hobby is. Not the main course, but the thing that you really like. And you might not be as lucky as me, because I managed, chancer that I am, to turn it into the main job. But at least pay it some attention. Reinvention sometimes gets you closer to the true you. Sometimes it's necessary for you to pursue all that you can be. I'm in the business of lies, but that's about as honest as I'm going to get. Thank you.